guys, welcome back to the Nivlak57 YouTube channel, where we are continuing our series that we're calling Two Dudes, Two Studes. In this series, we are building two Studebakers in very different fashions. One of them is my first car, a 1962 Studebaker Lark, that we are building in a very new school type fashion. It features a Gen 5 L83, a set of 180-degree headers, and a few other goodies that we are going to go over in today's video. The other car is my dad's 1948 Studebaker, which we are doing a bullet nose front end conversion on, and doing in a 60s era gasser style with a Gen 1 small block Chevy. And as you can see, these two builds are very different from one another, but the one similarity between the two builds is they will both feature a TKX 5-speed, which I'm going to talk about a bunch later on in the video. So first, let's get into the new intake setup that we are doing on my Studebaker. Now, if you guys are aware with our previous videos in this series, we talked about how I was going to put a LS7 intake manifold on my Studebaker and use these adapter plates from ICT Billet to go from the LS7 flange, which you can see here, to the LT flange. And the reason that we were going to do that is because we needed to get port injection on the car, and I wanted to get rid of the direct injection stuff. I talked about in the last video how we were originally setting this car up for a turbocharger, and being that it was turbocharged, we could look past some of the disadvantages with running this particular intake setup. And one of those disadvantages is this adapter flange right here. So as you can see, there is a pretty severe taper off to the side going into the port, and also a taper on this side too. This is the LS7 side, this is the LT side, and this little jog in the intake port is not really ideal for making horsepower, but with a turbo, you can just crank a little bit more boost to it and it'll blow past that restriction. You know, unless you're going for the absolute maximum spool performance, or you're trying to get every little bit out of your turbo, something like this really isn't going to make a ton of difference. But being that all the air that we can get into this engine is right here, we need to get rid of as much air restriction on the intake side as possible. If you guys are familiar with the LT series engines, you'll know that they were only ever equipped with direct injection. And basically what that means is there were little fuel rails here underneath of the intake, and there were injectors that basically sprayed directly into the intake ports, and therefore there was no provision on the intake for port injection except for on the LT5, which had port and direct injection. But that, that's a supercharged engine, and they needed a little extra fuel there to get the job done. So because of that, since I want to run port injection on this engine, if you run one of the factory intakes, you're kind of out of luck. That is until now. When we went to PRI, I saw that Mast Motorsports was starting to make these intake setups, and what this is a LT2 intake right off of a C8 Corvette. And then what they have done is they have made these really neat epoxied on injector bungs, as well as set these things up with a fuel rail so that you basically have a port injection Gen 5 LT intake manifold. This completely solves the problem, and it also takes care of the problems I had with the LS7 intake, where it didn't clear the things underneath of the intake because, there was no room for it. And so you can actually do this setup for a whole lot less than what I had in the LS7 intake. And frankly, I'm not sponsored by Mass Motorsports. I paid for this intake setup at full price, but I'm a really happy customer. This intake setup was $700. It came with the fuel rails, some 50-pound injectors, and all of the modifications already done to the intake. And it also came with this nice, fancy, brand new throttle body. And that brings me to sort of what I'm going for with this project. I am calling this the Hillbilly C8 Corvette setup. What we have is a truck 5.3 liter, and we're going to put a Corvette LT2 camshaft into it. As you can see, we've already put a Corvette LT2 intake manifold on it. And we're also putting on a set of 180-degree headers that we went over in the last video. So we're going to make it sound like the new Z06 C8 Corvette. So let's move on to my dad's Studebaker so we can give you an update on what happened over there. Alright guys, we haven't gotten a ton of work done on my dad's 1948 Studebaker since the last time that you saw it. But one of the big things that I want to talk about today is something that we sort of just brushed over in the last video, and that is we are going to be running TKX 5 speeds on both of these builds. I want to say a huge thanks to our friends at Hanlon Motorsports out of Pottstown, PA. They happen to be local to us, and we worked with them on getting some transmission setups for both of the cars. It was really nice working with them because I'm sort of new to the whole manual transmission thing. I have driven a manually shifted car basically as long as I have been working, so I'm very familiar with how they drive, but I've never actually taken one down the track. And I've certainly never dealt with one on a small block Chevy or a LT powered car. So it was really nice to work with them because they sort of have done all of the hard stuff. They know which hydraulic slave cylinder you need. They've gone through the effort of figuring out what clutch works with what setup, with what bell housing, and they've just taken all the dumb stuff out of it so that you can get everything you need the first time and just bolt it into the car and make things happen. So huge thanks to the Hanlon Motorsports guys. They hooked us up with a TKX 5-speed. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, well, why didn't you put a T56 in it? Cletus McFarlane has a T56. You need a T56 or else it won't work. Well, frankly, I really don't know why you need a second overdrive in your transmission. Frankly, you're only using 1 through 4 in these transmissions to go down the track. You're basically putting it into 6th anytime you are on the highways. So what's the point in having that 5th gear or the first overdrive? Just, you know, get it into 6th. Now the TKX 5-speed that we spec'd out has the 2.86 first gear and the 0.68 overdrive. It's set up for a little less starting line ratio, and they have a good overdrive ratio. So when we are taking these cars through the south at drag week in the end of summer, we will be able to keep the RPM down and cruise down the highway happy as can be. Also with the TKX 5-speed, we have the huge advantage of it bolts up to an old school style Lakewood bell housing, which we have a pile of, and a lot of the QuickTime bell housings and that sort of style bell housing, which you need for a T56, are a little bit hard to get right now. So it made a lot of sense to go with the TKX. Now, these transmissions are rated for 700 pound-feet of torque, and I definitely think we will be well below that on both cars. So we shouldn't have any issues there. And my dad has always wanted a stick shift, high winding, small block Chevy powered Studebaker gasser. So that's what we're gonna give him. As I said, I still have a lot to learn here, but my dad has quite a bit of stick shift drag racing experience. So I'm sure once his arm heals up, he will be rowing through gears before you know it. So that's all I have to update you here on the 48 Studebaker, and we have a lot of work to get done on the thing in the future, so look forward to that. So we still have a lot of work to get done on both cars, which you'll see in later episodes of our Two Dudes, Two Studes series. And as we did last time, make sure you leave a comment down below, taking a guess at who you think is going to win our shootout. Certainly at the end of this whole deal, we're going to do a little shootout between the two cars, you know, father versus son. On the last video, I noticed that a lot of you are pulling for my dad, and I totally get it. I'm pulling for him as well. It's gonna be a great thing to see him back in a car, and you know, I'm certainly not gonna be upset if I lose to him. So make sure you guys leave your guesses down in the comments. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, maybe buy a t-shirt, links in the description. Hit the join button, and we'll see you in the next one.